no longer going to be a slave to this system. I'm going to go be an entrepreneur so I can help eradicate poverty, so to speak, that way. What was the light bulb that came on? What did you see? What did you feel? What was it that made you just want to say, I'm going to do something different?
So this is kind of wild. I kept wanting to have a little more say in what was happening in our college. And so I went into a doctoral program, and I started studying welfare system where it bridges with higher education. And so as I'm doing this research and I'm working on that project, none of my professors really understood what I was talking about because this was under their radar. So that was always interesting. And I would come back to the college and I would try to have conversations with people about what was happening and what I was learning. And it just wasn't a conversation that people really wanted to have, even though in some ways our college was a very caring place. I don't want to make it sound like they weren't. It just was from this place of really not understanding. Meanwhile, I had started a little side project with, being an entrepreneur, working on the side, just to make a little extra money. And I had a good time with that. And I kept seeing the owners of my company doing things to help people in poverty and moving at a very fast pace. But anything that you try to do legislation-wise, that you try to do in higher education, that moves really slow, and I think the more that I understood about leadership in higher education, the less I felt like I had a voice or that I could make a difference. And that's not downing anybody that I was employed with, because I feel like people do as well as they know to do. It's just there's so much information, and we have so much misinformation in our society in general. It's so easy to scapegoat people who are in poverty. It's so easy to say, well, why don't they just get a job? Right. Why are they on food stamps? Why don't they just get a job? When the truth is, and Shannon probably knows the numbers. I don't know the numbers. But the majority of people getting assistance do have jobs. They're the working poor, and they do have jobs. So it's just their jobs don't pay well enough. And it's become a political, just a political, I'm trying to think of the right words.
Any words are the right words. So just say it, girl. This is a no judgment. So any words are the right words.
It's just
understand.
It's just so easy to stereotype people,
right?
And blame victims rather than us having conversations that are meaningful and helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
And, it goes all the way back to the time that I was on welfare and I was hearing on TV about the welfare queens in the big limousines. Yeah. And I kept going, hey, where's my limousine? I haven't seen a limousine. My kids and I are up here in this little 24 by 24 shack trying to stay warm. That was our reality. Living in a little bitty uninsulated house that, the whole house is about the size of a person's living room, and, freezing to death in the mountains. But yet on TV, I was hearing about these welfare queens somewhere. Right. And
I forgot about them. When they had the big mansions and everything else, and they were still, I forgot about them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And during that
I know, huh?
And during that time, people who got food stamps, they were actually stamps,
Yes, the paper where you tore out of the little book.
Yeah, you pull them out of the little books. They're like little coupon-looking things. Mm-hmm. And you would go to the grocery store, and the cashier would pull them out.
Right.
1, 5, count them up on top of the register so everybody in the line could see what was happening. Exactly. Yeah, that was fun. So I would end up going at 10:30 at night with my little bitty children, going to the grocery store because I was so embarrassed to be receiving food stamps. I had a job. I was a college student. I was by myself. I worked probably 20 hours a day between school and, I mean, really, like I was giving this my all. But that was the attitude then, because of the welfare queen discussion. That was 20, almost 30 years ago, I guess. And it's not gotten better. It's gotten worse.
Yeah.
So I was one of the first welfare to work case managers when I graduated from social work. I was one of the first welfare to work case managers, and I was out of school, and I was going to save the world. Shannon, did you feel like that when you were?
Oh, yeah.
Let me go save the children, But anyhow, what I learned with the welfare to work case manager, in that role, was I heard those discussions from DSS about this is the bottom of the barrel. These are the people who can't make it, and we're sending them to you now to fix. Well, I once taught a class, and there were 10 people that were in that bottom of the barrel class. 9 out of 10 people in that room talked about childhood sexual abuse. And it really, you just realize that people end up sometimes in that kind of, I can't make it in the world because something else has happened. And you can't fix those kinds of situations, that kind of, that kind of mentality, that kind of lack of self-confidence, all those things. You can't fix that overnight. So again, 24 months is not very long to put your life together when you've had, been abused, and those kinds of things. That's just one example of something I saw, during my time as a social worker.
So now, as an entrepreneur,
mm-hmm.
how are you empowering women? Or do you work with just women, or who do you work with now?
Oh, I work with anybody that wants to build a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you empower them? What tools do you give? And feel free to promote yourself or whatever it is you do. So if you have a link, give your link. So feel free to do that, because I want people to be able to reach you if they're interested, because you have such a caring attitude towards people. I want them to be able to reach you.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so much. So for one thing, the company that has the products that we promote, it's free to be a part of that. So that's one of the things that I loved about it, was people could start for free. There's not really any businesses that you can start without an investment. Mm-hmm. So I love that about it. I loved the fact that people could earn a car in a very short period of time. And I kept thinking, because in my experience in this book, I talk about having a car with a hole in the floorboard so big that one of my kids could fall through. And that's what I started driving to school. So being able to help people earn cars, when you can take that major bill out of the way for people, I felt like that was really important. And so the company that I represent is called Lavelle, and it's just set up in a way that helps people. And so I started using the products. I loved them. I loved what it did for me. And I realized, hey, people can join for free. People can earn money from home in a very easy way. And I can use my counseling skills, my caring of people skills to just, help people earn a little extra money on the side, or if they want to build a business, that's bigger than that, to do that. So that's how I kind of how I got started. And I've just started a little blog spot called SharonThrive.com. So people can go there. They can sign up to get updates as I update the blog, and kind of get into this author side, writing side of things that I have not been in. About a year ago, Sophia, this is pretty wild, I went to a women's conference where there were about 30 women, I guess, and it was a pretty spiritual meeting with a lot of prayer and a lot of people sharing, different stuck places they were in that their life and that kind of thing. And I was a vendor there, sharing, promoting our products. And so there was a minister that spoke, and she had all of us share a little bit of our stories. And I shared a little bit of mine, and she said, "You don't look like your story. You need to be sharing your story." And so then I guess that's how God just brought this all together when I started seeing Shannon go live about poverty. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm hearing you. This book, I need to start getting my story out there. So I feel like God brought this all together so that the authors can be having that conversation, so that hopefully we'll inspire some people to know that they can escape poverty and there is hope. And it might take a minute to get out of it, but there are other people who have. And I mean, it just sounds like in your story as well, Sophia, you know, that you've been able to further your skills and you know, have a platform where you've able to earn a living and that kind of thing. So in this digital age, I just feel like it's something that we can all do and help and be a part of. And as we grow skills, I've learned a lot from Shannon, as we grow skills and we help and support each other, use these different tools that are available, we can definitely make a difference. So,
absolutely. And that's part of what caused me to do what I do, because I didn't think of becoming a life coach before, but just naming my business Courageous Coaching, because it takes courage to get out there and tell your story. It takes courage to just put yourself at the forefront, because no matter what you do, you're going to be ridiculed for it by someone, even if they just random off the street. They're going to talk about you. So if they're going to talk about you, there's going to be some other people who the story's going to resonate with, and you're going to uplift them. So I thank you both for being so courageous in telling your stories, because it's not easy, but to be, unfortunately, cliche, it is definitely worth it. Right. So I thank you both for being here, just giving me your time, sharing your stories. And Shannon, as always, I appreciate you. Yes, you are Miss I Go Live.
Yeah.
Everything. So I know we've said it before, but tell the people where they can reach you.
Oh, me? Oh, well, you can reach me at For Humanities, Shannon Griffin on Facebook as well, but and LinkedIn, and it's For Humanities, and that's the number 4, HUMANITEES, like for teas. So you can reach me there, and yes, Miss I Go Live. I Go Live.
So again, I thank you both. Sherry, you've been amazing. I mean, every time I have an author on from this anthology, I tell you, no lie, I learned something new. I remember something that was, I guess I pushed to the back of my mind, but I thank you all, because my story is coming together because you are courageous enough to put your story out there. You're amazing. And you're both welcome back anytime. So feel free, block time on my calendar. If you don't have the link, I'll send it to you. Feel free. Anytime you have something to talk about, come back and talk about it, because I definitely want to hear it, and I'll promote the hell out of it.
Thank you for being courageous. Cynthia.
We are courageous together.
Right.
That's the name. We, just like the whole system, World Wide Web, we are connected. I'm in Florida. Shannon's in California. You're in North Carolina. We're countrywide right now, but somebody's going to hear this around the world. So
exactly,
it's a big web, and I'm just glad that I'm connected to you ladies, because y'all are amazing.
Man, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. You guys take care, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Courageous Coaching Podcast. Feel free to call in with comments and questions anytime. The number is 786-749-TLAK. That's 786-749-8255. Call us and let us know what is on your mind. Until we meet again, be courageous.